Hey everyone, how's it going? Nick here with another Alien video. This time we're going to be exploring some of the cryptic posts that the Alien Anthology Instagram account has been releasing. Now, we talked about this in a previous video when the first and second posts were released. It's obviously something hinting at a larger expansion in 2019 for the Alien franchise, but at this time it's just kind of unknown what exactly it is. All of the posts are part of a 6-part dossier revealing the secret history behind Weyland-Yutani, chronicling their exposure of the xenomorph itself and their research into the organism, and also their questionable tests and usage of it on unsuspecting colonists. So since we have all 6 of the dossiers released, I'm gonna kind of go through all of them and decipher what they might mean. So the first image shows the character, who is the narrator, kind of logging these entries into some sort of a journal or something, and they arrived at Weyland-Yutani orbital facility to investigate rumors about accidents in a secret research program. In the image we can see Weyland-Yutani employees dressed up in futuristic clothing, and we also see some of the guards and commandos that we saw at the end of Alien 3, signaling that this storyline takes place well into the Alien franchise, moving away from the prequels, which a lot of people are probably happy about. The second image shows Weyland-Yutani scientists deep below inside the orbital facility with a queen inside of a test tube, xenomorph drones off to the right in cages kind of like the ones that we saw in Alien Resurrection, and eggs below the queen herself. The caption reads, "The facility is hiding a terrible secret. Highly aggressive mega parasites with corrosive blood. They're breeding them, using them for research." I have to mention also that these captions were released with the hashtag Amanda Ripley, so I'm assuming this has something to do with her, and more than likely this is her journal entries or, diary logs going through the Weyland-Yutani orbital facility looking at what the company is doing. The third image is really interesting. It's something that we've never seen in the franchise, which are essentially breeding pods in which facehuggers are inserted into, and I guess these are launched into the actual planetoid or colony itself from orbit. The caption reads, "The breeding program is a house of horrors. They're torturing and killing people, using them as hosts for their larvae. Where do these people come from?" So again, it definitely seems like Amanda is kind of learning the inner workings of Weyland-Yutani, with her goal to expose the company for their very questionable acts. Image 4 is really cool. It shows off one of the dropships that we saw from the Aliens 1986 movie, although this one is not sporting Colonial Marines insignia but rather Weyland-Yutani. The caption reads, "The experiments aren't just in the lab. The company is sending the larvae somewhere. They're using their own private military to move them." And in the image we can see the dropship hovering over a planetoid with the capsules falling towards the surface. Kind of reminds me actually of the ODSTs from the Halo universe. So the last 2 images are really cool. It actually shows the effects of the facehuggers and the xenomorphs infesting a colony, essentially giving us a look at what happened to Hadley's Hope, but we get to see it, firsthand. Image 5 shows off facehuggers attacking colonists on the surface of the planet. We can see an atmospheric processor in the background, so this planetoid or, moon or whatever was definitely in the process of being terraformed, which is why the colonists aren't wearing any kind of protective face masks. The caption reads, "It's worse than I thought. They're dropping these payloads on the planet below. What is the company's aim?" And the final image shows off what appears to be somewhat of an underground xenomorph hive with the queen roaming freely with the xenomorph warriors and eggs scattered around. The caption reads, "It's a nightmare. They have infested and destroyed the Weyland-Yutani colony below, killing all of the facility's personnel. We have to expose this. I know they'll try to discredit me or worse. Please, tell someone before they do this to anyone else." One of the things that I find really interesting about this final image is that if you actually zoom in on it, you can see that there are scientists looking into the actual xenomorph hive, so this looks to be like a almost enclosure or something where these scientists can study the xenomorph in their natural habitat, which I think is really cool. It's an aspect of the company that we haven't seen on film or anything. We have seen it in comic books, but I think it's really cool to kind of see it realized. So like I mentioned earlier on, we don't know exactly what these dossiers are connected to, but at this point my best guess is that it's connected to the upcoming Aliens Resistance comic book. Because one thing that I noticed was that if you actually go and look at the 3 solicits that are out there for Aliens Resistance right now, because it's a 4-part miniseries comic book arc, and they've released 3 of the synopsises for the issues, and they all line up almost beat for beat what these dossiers are talking about. Especially the 3rd one, which reads, as Amanda Ripley and Zula Hendricks deal with failing pressure suits and an orbital tumble, a Weyland-Yutani experiment unfolds on the surface of the moon below, 1,000 kidnapped colonists' lives hanging in the balance. The series itself is also dealing with Amanda Ripley and Zula Hendricks from Aliens Defiance, and the 2 of them are investigating a bioweapons program that is very sinister from Weyland-Yutani and an upcoming weapons test that the company is looking to deploy. So that's what leads me to believe that this is most connected to Aliens Resistance rather than a brand new video game or something like that. Like I had speculated in a previous video, I talked about how it could potentially be Aliens Blackout, which is the upcoming game, or it could be some other video game that we haven't heard about. It could be even for a film or something, but to me it just looks like this is most connected to the Resistance comic book series, which I think is actually pretty cool that they're doing something, of this scale, I guess, to get people hyped up for it, like an outside media tie-in thing. So drop your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think about this? Are you excited that Fox is actually moving the Alien franchise back towards what I think people wanted to see, which is stuff that kind of puts the timeline in the Alien to Alien 3 era, not really focusing on prequel stuff, which is what they did with the Fire and Stone comic book series and Life and Death. I think it's actually really awesome that they're going back to the importance of Weyland-Yutani as a company and seeing the xenomorphs and the infestation of a colony. We get to see it firsthand. I also really like the idea that they're using Amanda Ripley and Zula Hendricks, because I think both of them are great characters and I really want to see more from them, especially considering we're never going to get a sequel to Isolation, so this is definitely the next best thing. Be sure to share your thoughts down in the comments below, and for more updates on the Alien and Predator universes, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.